Hey YouTubey beekeeps, what's up? Yep, I went and did it again this morning. Saving money, lots of money. I can't tell you how much money we've saved. It's been a bunch. It has been a bunch. Always rope your pallets down. Don't sling them out on the highway and let the guy behind you run over them. It gets very costly when you do that in a court of law. No, I've never done that. I know what you're thinking. Steve, you're a voice of experience. You've done that before. Slung one through a windshield behind you. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Yeah. Let's talk pallets here. If you do any wild and crazy stuff like Steve-O does, like source pallets, I source the newer looking ones. See, this wood don't look old at all. It's ugly wood. It's got knots in it. It's got cracks in it. We don't care. We don't care. The bees don't care. No. Now, what do I go to get? There is tons of choices down there. Tons of choices. And look at here. See this, guys? Boom, boom. Here's where it's nailed this time. But who knows where it was nailed last time? There's all kind of shrapnel in this wood here. You have got to be extremely careful when you're cutting this stuff. You run these nails through a saw, and you got shrapnel flying all over the place. So be aware of that. Some of these pallets have been used over and over, but the wood's still excellent on it. But here's what you're looking for when you go to look for pallets. A lot of times you'll see the ones I get are the ones that have got 3 runners on them. All right, I run a skill saw through here, both sides. I set up a table right here, my trash can table. You've seen that scenario 100 times. And then I put on a sheet of plywood. Now I have a deck that it's a comfortable working height. So then I throw these on there, and I used to take the whole board off. Well, I used to fight all these nails. I used to cut this stuff with saws, all these nails, going through a ton of money, screwing around, cutting nails, working up a sweat. No, I don't work up a sweat anymore because I'm only salvaging one board. I'm only taking out of this board 21 5/16 worth of lumber, and I'll come over here. See that nail there? I will take, when I'm getting ready to chop this, I will chop it here. Actually, if I see this, I'll take my first cut here with my skill saw and zip all the way down through here. And I will eliminate, I flip the pallet, and then I do this side. Then I throw this goes to the dump. And then all I'm left with is this center runner. And I'm gonna pop them off with my pallet popper here. Somebody was asking me the other day, what was the name brand of this? I don't know. I don't know. I went down through there and looked at it and looked at the reviews. This has got little teeter-totter action here on this. This thing is built extremely tough. There's no name stamped on this thing, guys. So I can't tell you. All I can tell you is I bought it on Amazon. And then my nail remover, that also got purchased on Amazon. So all I do, today all they had was 2 that I liked. This happens to be a flooring store. They sell all kind of flooring. It's a huge warehouse. Go in to the warehouse and ask the people, can I have some pallets out back? Yes, you can, but don't make a mess out there. If you're moving pallets around, selecting, keep the piles neat. Don't be slinging them all over the place. Otherwise, they will fire you, and that'll be the end of your pallet selection for that location. This location is so handy for me. It's all about 2 miles from my house. Yeah. Now, so a lot of the pallets will come, you'll have a runner, you'll have 2 runners, like one here and one here. Do not get those. You can get them if you want to, but you're going to work hard for them because you just can't get the pallet wrecker in there correctly. When I'm done cutting these sides off, I'm only left with this one runner, and my pallet popper comes under real easy. Now, if you've got one at the end and they're tight and you can't get your pallet popper in, cantilever this over your bench. We'll say this is flipped over, and I usually use a rubber hammer, and I find it breaks them loose without splintering the wood. Sometimes these are what they call ring nails, and when you shoot these in, they don't like to come out of the wood. And some of these drier pallets, when I'm popping them, I really got to get on the end of that bar right there, the full advantage of that lever, and put my foot, say, down there, and say if I'm popping this one, put my foot down there to cantilever, you know, the reaction. And sometimes you got to hit it fast and hard, and they'll snap loose, and you can bring them out. Sometimes they split, but look at this one here. I really like this one. Look how wide these boards are. These boards are really wide, this whole deck. This is I mean, they're 3/4 too. It looks like 3/4 lumber on this thing. Normally they're about 5/8 lumber on this stuff, or thinner. See, these are thinner down here, these bottom runners, just to kind of hold it together. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I left, there was like 15 more of these down there, but a lot of them were double runnered down. They had 2. I do not touch those. Those stay right where they're at. And what happens, they'll get so many down there stacked up that people come in there. I ran into one old boy down there, and he was down there fooling around, and I said, what you building today? He said, birdhouses. He just builds, he's an old fart, he just builds birdhouses. And he was collecting this wood. He said, what are you building? I said, beehives. Really? Beehives? Yep. I'll be darned, he said. Anyway, we BS for a couple minutes, and then we parted ways. I ain't never seen him since. But anyway, so I just thought I'd quickly show you this. Yeah, I'll go to the gym. I'll do my mile hike down at the gym, then I'll come out of there and I shoot over to the pallet place about every other day. And then I'll just scarf up this pallets and process them. Once I cut these ends off and pop these out, most of the time the nails are stuck to this piece because you got a head on there, right? And when you pop these out, a lot of times it just drags the nail out with it. So then I use my nail remover gun. You've seen that before. That's this one here. That's this dude right here. Yeah. Numax, Amazon, I forget what I paid for it. That's been a tough gun, I'm telling you. That's been a very tough gun, and it slams them. It slams them on out of there, those nails. Sometimes they'll hang up, sometimes they'll stick, and you got to grab you a claw hammer and pull them out. But when you do it, when you go slamming them, get a little bucket like that and put some towels in it. Because if you don't, the nail will come flying out of there so fast, it'll bounce and come flying back in your face. So have a little cushiony landing for those nails when they come, when you reverse slam them. Yeah, once I get the nails out, I set up my chop saw, which is there on this table, this invisible table you see here. And I chop them 21 5/16, being very very vigilant and looking for nails when you go to chopping. I don't want to send my saw down through that nail, obviously. So, you know, if you see a nail and that's where the saw wants to go, no big deal. You just chop off a little bit more over here by your fence, slide the board out of your way, make your chop. But all I'm getting out of these boards, it seems a bit wasteful, but it is what it is. This is free wood. It's brand new wood. This wood will last forever when you dip it in tall earth and put a slop of coat of paint on it. Yeah. Don't worry about the holes in here because your paint will go in them holes. And what little daylight, if there is daylight, when you're sandwiching these boards up against one another. I used to even go to the point, guys, where I was gluing these edges together. And I did that for about the first 25 or 30 hives, and I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? The bees will seal those holes up. The bees don't care if there's a little light coming in because they will seal it with propolis. If they don't like light coming in, they seal it up. So I stopped that stupid, and then, you know, as with any project you do in construction, after you do it a while, you're beating your brains out, and you're going, why am I doing it that way? Then you flip to a new program. These are going to be a little tougher getting out, I'm telling you right now. What I'm seeing here, these are going to be a little tough. Doesn't matter here because I'm cutting this off. But see this? They've slammed this board in, and this is 3/4 thick with 3 nails on each one of these timbers. So old Steve-O has got to get in here and really do some grunt work to get these off of here, even though that big bar I got there. Yeah, I've even thought about coming up with some sort of a hydraulic press to lock this board in, to some kind of device, and come up with 2 air jacks. 2 air jacks. This is what I'm thinking in old Steve-O's brain here. Having a fixture where I can lock in. These studs, these pallets basically have the same size thickness here, right? So I could design a fixture that would lock this in with some sort of clamps, heavy duty clamping system. Clamp this in, have a hydraulic jack, air jack right under here and one under here, with maybe a foot or hand valves to operate it, and push this board off of this stud. And then I could eliminate that ornery sumbitch right there. Because you gotta get a little bit of old Steve-O arm on that to make that functional. And I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a booger with those, but I'll get it. I will get it, okay? These are a piece of cake. These little 2-shot things here on this little, what is this, 5/8 lumber? Yeah, this is a long one though. It's a long pallet here. So I'm getting a lot of pieces of wood out of that. Normally they're this size here, but this one is extra long. They come all different. I've seen them down there almost 20 feet long. I don't know what in the world's coming in on those, but I looked at those, and I could fire up have a generator on board and a sawzall and cut them to get on the truck. But no, I'm not going through all that because I don't need to. I've got plenty of these. So I'm getting a fairly good little stockpile here. I butchered 3 more the other day. There they are. They're all sized up, ready to rock and roll. So these here added to that, and I'll have probably enough for that pile of wood I'm just looking at, guys. I'm looking at least 15 nukes I can get out of that thing. 15 5-frame nukes. All right, I'm going to let you go, and I got to go to work because I can't sit here and BS all day long. I got to get something done. Be happy, be strong. We got to keep getting her on. I'll see you on the next one. Oh, I just dropped 50 pounds of corn out back in the deer spot. And I set the camera up. So tomorrow, let's have a wildlife look-see and see what we got on that camera. Because we should have some. Last season, I had a pair. They made it through. I was starting to draw down on one of them bucks last year. He's a 6-pointer. Nice 6-point, good body on him. And he had a brother. He's got a brother out there too that the stupid cop over here shot an arrow in his ass, of all things. And that arrow went through his hip up toward the spine and stopped. Would you believe, guys, that arrow, he worked that arrow out of him, and that whole hip is healed up. That 6-pointer, they're twins. I watched them grow up. They're twins. Identical. The racks on them are identical, guys. And he caught me. He caught me on the last move. I was pulling back my bow, and I got right here. He looked up and saw me move. Busted. I was busted. And that's really the only opportunity I have, because I haven't really pulled back on any does. I could have shot some does, but I wasn't hurt for meat or nothing. Been eating lots of ribeyes, so I let those go on, but I would like to pick a buck off. But anyway, I got a hunch these two brothers out here, I seen them, the nubs were, I threw a bag out a month or two back, and the velvety nubs were coming out of the skull about yay big, and they were about yay big around. I mean, big hunking nubs coming out of their head. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys are turning out to be. So anyway, I dumped 50 pounds. I've got a salt lick out there, a trophy rock. Those things are excellent. They're mined out of Utah, and they got all the good minerals in them. And so they've been licking on that for months. They eat one, and I put out another one. That'll help grow them racks. And we'll just see what we got. I'm hoping they're big old 8-pointers this year. We'll see. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, wow, guys. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. These bees are hitting this feed as hard as Hunter on a crack pipe. A lot of black bees. I see some black bees in there. Caucasian. When you go black, guys, it's hard to come back. See you later. Bye-bye.